The minute you mention you come from Kenya, everybody equates you to a sportswoman or sportsman. And we carry that pride wherever we go. There is a time I even boasted somewhere and told them I play netball. But because during my school time, I had the height, I had the energy, I had the stamina. But because my parents were telling me, Modoni, if I see you going running there to play these funny games, I'm going to cane you. This is why I lost my talent of becoming an excellent footballer. I mean a netballer. Honorable Speaker, I want to say the formulation of this reward policy will do several things, Honorable Speaker. Number one, it will stimulate also the private sector sponsorship and partnership by demonstrating to the government the commitments of sports excellency. It will also create a transparent and standardized system that will ensure recognition for all deserving athletes. It will not be exceptional. Any deserving athlete, and I have said and I insist, from an early age up to the championship level that we are talking about. It will also reinforce the positive socioeconomic impact of sports by encouraging athletes to serve as role models and ambassadors for our country, Kenya. Honorable Speaker, I really want once again to thank Honorable CNN and encourage him to go a step further and ensure that this particular debate, after we pass it, it becomes a bill so that it can benefit our children who are talented. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I submit.
Thank you very much, Dorothy. The Honorable Julius RUTO, member for KSS.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I rise to speak about this motion, but even before I do that, allow me to take this sad moment to pay tribute and condolence to the family of one, the former athlete, Jairus Pirech, whom we all know in 2014, he was African gold medalist, or the African Championship gold medalist. He was also Glasgow Commonwealth Games silver medalist, and he also won the Diamond League in 2014. As we are talking now, the family bereaved. The burial will take place on Saturday 4th in Keses, my constituency, and therefore I want to pay this tribute to the family and the entire athletes fraternity and the sportsmen and women of Kenya. Madam Speaker, this particular motion is very critical because for quite some time, we as country Kenya, we've been taking sides only during the events is when we get that excitement and celebrate about them. Immediately after the sport or an activity, we forget about them. The only thing we see is when they are training in the field or in the roadside. Remember, most of them have also gone through challenges during training because some of those long-distance runners require facilities which they don't have. So they've been running alongside with the vehicles, and you can imagine the exposure they are getting through in terms of pollution of the road with the trucks and machinery which are moving on the road. Madam Speaker, there are some questions that it really have to be asked. That as a country, Kenya, what is our position as far as sports is concerned? How much do we value? Where have we placed sports? Because until and when we ask ourselves that question, then all this remains to be theoretical discussion. If at all we have given the position it should be as one of our value, that we're able to grow our economy, like other countries. Right now, I'm sure if we begin to discuss about soccer here, especially the Premier League, we discuss about the Euro Cups, you know, most of us here, we are fans. In fact, we are very loyal fans. Some of them we are fanatic. To an extent, we even go some and we fight amongst ourselves when it comes to competition. And we've made those countries earn a lot through those sports. Most of these programs that are being sponsored, mega companies sponsor those activities. They get a lot of money when they sponsor those sports in those countries. In fact, it is one of the main market facility or security that is being traded because of sports. But for Kenya, Imagine we are being discussed that at the Tokyo, just concluded World Championship, Kenya is known in the world being the second after America. You know, the only second country after America that scored almost 7 goals, you know. We were number 2, and that is the end of the story. The way they walked in Kenya, I even saw some fun. The way the marathon lady, when she came through the economic class, you know, the way we treat them. We want to celebrate the code. We want to share that code. We want to share that pride. I saw Honorable Mboni says he was in attendance, and the way the whole field was excited. The question is, what is our thinking as a country about sports? Until and when we define that, so that whenever we are discussing our development plans, medium-term economic plans, whenever we are talking about our Agenda 2030, our Agenda 2050, what and how are we treating sports as one of our key elements or sector that can boost our country, that can grow our country? When are we going to cause the whole world to decide to come over to this country to either participate, to either train, to either watch? We saw the other day during the Chan, when the country was hosting, and the way the president came in and decided to motivate by himself, by attending and talking to those boys, the way they grew. And all of a sudden, the politics of the country and the region, I mean, it became a discussion, it became a topic. In East Africa, in Africa, I mean, for some time, Kenya was failed, and even the whole nation, even the people alone. There before, there were a lot of chit-chat about politics. But when Chan came in, all of a sudden, we saw patriotism grew for Kenyans across the divide to tell us we've been concentrating on the wrong side of our development, of our focus. When about sports that touches on the young people, the talents of the people, the nation rose. We saw the peace. We saw the country getting excited. We saw the love among Kenyans. I'm trying to say it is time we think as this house and put proper laws that is going to protect the athletes, it's going to protect sports, it's going to give attention. The way we give attention to affordable housing, the way we give attention to share, the way we give attention to the other disciplinary agriculture, we need to give attention to sports. It is going to grow our talent. It is going to give a pathway to our children. We are going to grow. I come from a city, we call ourselves the city of champions. If you come to Eldoret today, you will be able to witness mega structures, business entities, business youths and blocks, and you will be told this is for this athlete, this is for this particular athlete, this is for Eliud Kipchoge, this is for so and so. I mean, the economy in Eldoret is critically 70% run by the sportsmen and women. And if it is happening in Eldoret, why can it not happen in Kisii? Why can it happen in Nyanza? I saw a lady from Oma Bay. She won gold, and my good friend Garoli Omondi is here. I saw them going to celebrate Odera. I mean, besides the fishing economy, they are now venturing into sport economy. So, Bwana Ngusha, we want to say thank you. This is a time, this house, we need to look at our budget when we are discussing our budgetary plans. What are we giving to sports? Because it's the only thing that we have that can position us, besides the other tourism of animals there. Lastly, to the ministry, as I've said, as I condole with the family, it is unfortunate, Madam Speaker, that up to now, I don't know whether the PS, whether the CS are aware that they have lost one athlete who has one time gave glory to Kenya. None has ever discussed, even to pay tribute to the family, leave alone to support the family when they are in it now. Not even a shilling. I've just come from conducting a fundraiser on Saturday where we were able to get whatever we get to support the family, comfort them. I mean, when they win, you want to celebrate them. When they are mourning, we don't understand with them. I want to condemn this one and call upon the ministry to take decisive action, even to pay the family visit and go and condole them, to show, to demonstrate that indeed what they are running in their ministry is all about the athletes, other than their own interest. And lastly, the other day we saw the sharing of the sports academies. And I want to say that I'm sorry to speak about this. And the person who was in charge, the minister who was there, apparently comes from our region, where he knows very well our main agenda and the talent of our people is sports. We saw the way the sports academy were being distributed so skewedly. I mean, sometimes we take this local politics to a level that we even want to interfere with our positions when we are given position of trust. The way those sports academy were distributed, one county is taking everything, a county like Wasingishu, only given one, just by value, only one just to cover. And we know that if there is anything, if you come to Eldoret today in the morning, every morning, all our children are on the roads. Can we for sometimes put resources where it is deserved? When you're given a position, tafadhali, you should not use your political agenda, your whole plans, your own thinking about future. Make sure that you run the country together so that together we share this. With that much I have said, Mr. Speaker, now that the Speaker has changed, I want to say pole sana to the family, and I want to ask this House, whenever you get an opportunity, let us console with that family. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Adan Keinan is recognized to contribute.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important motion, but it's good we are honest with ourselves. Do we need a motion urging the government at this time? Mr. Speaker, when I was first elected, and I want to remind my good friend CNN here, we are past this stage. Under the old constitution, when the House business used to be dominated by senior ministers, and when the democratic space actually was limited to the whims of the executive, we used to have similar motions urging the government. This is good. It's too populist. It's extremely good. The catch is it creates a bit of information to the public. As much as I really want to commend my good brother here, the content is extremely good. It's encouraging. I want to urge you, and it's almost certain, by the grace of God, that we are going to pass this. This is one stage of this. Bring the bill, amend the relevant statutes, walk the talk, so that these great people of sportsmen and women benefit from the generosity of this great nation. Mr. Speaker, that's an advice to my brother here, because urging the government, we have been urging the government, nothing happens. We have been singing this, bring the bill. I brought that bill on conferment of national honors, which used to be a privilege for the politically correct. Today, you as a member of parliament, you have been honored because of the role that you do. And I know even my good friend, Dindu Yoro, was honored the other day. That was my bill. And I did it under very difficult circumstances because one morning, somebody decided to honor all his siblings and friends and whatever. I didn't sleep that night in 2010, 2012. I brought that bill. It worked. Everybody benefits. This is one thing that you need to do. So this is good. Let's come back to the substance. So, Speaker, at times, I find myself in a very awkward position. This country is privileged. We have everything. We have created an international niche as a country of great sportsmen and women. Just like some few years back, we were known as a country of coffee and tea. That is gone. It is no longer the menu of the international community. Even our tea is coffee, and our tea and coffee is used for blending other coffee and teas produced in other parts of the world. Today, if you go to Ireland, if you go to UK, our coffee is used to blend it, which means we have lost. These sportsmen and women, these talents are God-given talent. My friend comes from DA, and where I also had the privilege of having gone to school, I was there for over 6 years. The opportunity is there. The atmosphere is pregnant with individuals who are prepared to excel in this. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, I only made a paper either. Then my friends from the lake were celebrating the first. I did what are the friends? What was her name? Odinda. And somebody was saying it's a product of the broad-based government. What product of broad? I tell you, we need to celebrate. How many other people from that region have talent, and yet they have not appreciated, they haven't given the opportunity. Isn't it that we as the leadership? Kenya is a brand. A brand, and Mr. Speaker, we have also 186 countries. Why do we have countries with unique international brand? What's our brand? Our brand has been lost. Our brand now is sportsmen and women. Can we take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, and expand that so that Kenyans, and we have wasted a lot of resources. I see a number of sessional papers. Useless papers. Useless papers brought by somebody in the ministries. They are made for the whims of that government. We need to think out of the box. So I want to urge you, you have brought this. These things are very good. What are the benefits? In the national employment opportunities right now, there's serious employment in this country. What is better than allowing the youth to critically appreciate the talents? And they can combine. You come back great sportsman and woman and still remain professional. That's the first thing. Employment creation. Talents. as a source of foreign exchange, Mr. Speaker. My friend here, MP, my MP, that's where I've gone to school, MP for Moi University. And very soon we'll hold you to account why you have allowed Moi University to go down the drain. Very soon we'll come, all of us. We are regrouping. Products of Moi University, we are coming to your village and we'll hold you to account why you have allowed Moi University to go down the drain under your leadership. So get ready. Our numbers are thousands right now, hundreds of thousands. We are coming. And if you don't do something, we will ask you, I don't want to go to the next level. So be on the side. Mr. Speaker, we are coming. No. Before we say two-term, you must demonstrate leadership that Moi University is back to its former position, because that's a great university. Mr. Speaker, the other bits, we are struggling. We are running to IMF. We are running to World Bank. We are running to the African Development Bank. And yet we have our own local banks in the name of talents, in the name of good sportsmen and women. So what we require is special funds. These funds have been there. Are they serving the purpose? These are the things that you need to inquire into. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the physical health, a healthy nation is, what do we say? A working nation. That's why today, I'm sure in the morning you are somewhere in the field. I'm sure in the morning I beat a bit of press up here and there. Simply because as I age, there are certain things that you also need to avoid. Isn't it this natural? They are there everywhere. It is in the genes of particular communities. And you know, maybe they discovered this. There's something called the Hamitic myth, I think you must have had. Once upon a time when we were trying to migrate, and you know, in that migration, people were confused. Some came from the Congo forest, some others came from the Baal Ghazal region. In the process of trying to acquire and shape our final district. And before we identify ourselves as part of this sovereign Republic of Kenya, each community came with its own talents. Me as a cable herder, Mr. Speaker, that is a distinctive feature of a person from the Hamitic community, from the Kushaiti community. Somebody else from DK and where they come from, they have been given these talents. Where you come from, you have skills in fishing. Somebody else has skills in where my good friend Dinu Yoro comes from. You know also where they specialize in. All these combined is what is supposed to project that image of the Premier Republic of Kenya. And therefore, it's my responsibility, Mr. Speaker, with that distinctive background as a cable herder, to infuse that international culture and pride myself as a cable herder and say, look, this is the Kenyan brand. This is the way we are supposed to promote Kenya. This is the way we are supposed to project Kenya. This is the way we are supposed to protect Kenya. And that is the image of the sovereign Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. And that is what gives us a national identity, and that's what's supposed to give us an international brand. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, right now, each one of us has become an inward-looking village men and women. Go back there. I come from this community. This is my village. How are we going to excel? Yesterday, we had a function. We were told, and you know this, in 1968, Kenya was a donor nation to the newly independent Botswana, to South Korea. We have still stuck there. Every morning, politics. The media awash with politics. When are we going to stand up and say Kenya needs to move from where we are as a country that has stagnated with a dirty politics, Mr. Speaker, dirty ethnic and regional-based politics, to a country that looks to the future of this great generation? We have been interested. We talk about the Gen Zs. This facility, Mr. CNN, don't urge the government. Come with a bill. Think out of the box. Provide the modus operandi on how to fund, how to support them, and that is what is going to assist. Mr. Speaker, the other benefits is the cultural and sports diplomacy, Mr. Speaker. You know, for the first time in the history of this country, we have a written foreign policy, Mr. Speaker. And one pillar is cultural and sports diplomacy, Mr. Speaker. How are you going to attain this without a proper platform? Without a proper, appreciation of those who are already there. Mr. Speaker, Kenya is a responsible, and this is the word, a responsible member of the international community, Mr. Speaker. And we have paid the price. That's why we have excelled in one of the things that we have done. So I want to urge you, this is very good. It's really, we are already late. I want to urge you, come with a bill. I want to also commend you. Don't wait for
We'll give Honorable Kainan 1 minute to conclude.
At times, Mr. Speaker, we are disadvantaged because we know a lot. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I want to say this. This is not supposed to be the house of lamentation. This is supposed to be the house of action. This is not supposed to be the house of lamentation. Mr. Speaker, the budget-making process is under our bid. The legislative framework is under our mandate. We oversight. Now that you have brought this CNN, and we'll go in history. You will go in history, because once we walk the talk this, I'm sure Kenyans will appreciate you. Look, go back to the entire sporting legislative infrastructure, the funding infrastructure, the modus operandi, and let's give, for the first time, an approach, financial, legislative, legal, moral support that befits the support a responsible state is supposed to give to its struggling sportsmen and women. I thank you and I support.
The Honorable David Kiplagat, MP Soy.
Thank you for that compliments. Honorable Speaker, allow me to contribute to this very important motion that talks about how to look after our athletes who have actually made this country to have a name. And thank you, Honorable CNN, for coming up with such a motion. It is indeed time that as a country, we have a policy through an act of parliament that rewards our athletes. Our athletes have done a lot in terms of marketing this country, in terms of giving this country a name, in terms of even bringing in cohesion among the various spheres of our communities. You saw recently during the CHAN championships, when all the leadership, led by none other than the president himself, was able to support Harambee Stars, and all Kenyans from all walks of life, young, old, were able to rally behind our football team. And I dare say, if you saw the winners, that is Morocco, whom we had defeated, chances are we could have also become the winners of that cup by just giving that morale, by just giving them a compensation package when they do well. So it follows that if we are going to universally implement the same in all spheres of our sports activities, athletes, football, rugby, all those sports that have made a name for the country, it is high time we have a policy so that those men and women who have excelled really know that their country loves them, and for the entire of their life, they can stay comfortably in this country. Imagine a country where our sports have made a name, but we don't have a comprehensive medical cover for our athletes, for our sportsmen, so that what Honorable CPA was talking about, we lost an athlete who had made a name in this country. But because of time, you know, when time is a factor in the remembrance, in remembering these athletes. Because of time, nobody remembers him. We have even lost a former member of parliament for Mkwen, Elijah Lagat, who was an accomplished marathoner. He even won, was it Chicago Marathon or which? I will check. I don't want to be misquoted. Boston Marathon. You can imagine. And right now, I can tell you, that honorable member of parliament, he has no comprehensive package for medical scheme. Even as members, you remember the other day, we were talking about how to make sure that in case you don't make it back, at least you can go and stay at home with dignity because you will have a comprehensive medical scheme. There is nothing in life that can count more than having a well medical cover. So those are areas we can start with. We have sports tourism. I remember the Camarine Stadium in Elgeyo Marakwet. All the sportsmen in this world who are athletes, they come there. They think that if they run there, they can be able to win. I remember there was an athlete, a famous one in Britain. He used to come and train there. Even Usain Bolt has come there. So, if we can be able to capture the sports tourism and be able to use the funds, just like the sports fund, be able to use the funds to compensate and to make the life of our athletes be better, so that we don't react by chit-chat reaction. You know, when there's something, all of us, we balloon through it, and when that event goes, it is forgotten. We need to be very systematic. So we really support this motion, that it has to be taken into an extra length, where now we come up with a policy, we come up with a legal framework on how our athletes are going to be compensated, are going to make sure that as they stay in this, you can remember Kiptum. Kiptum died, he didn't even have a house. We had to build a house within 2 weeks. I remember Honorable Professor Parto here. We had, everybody had to run around to make sure that at least Kiptum has a house. But nobody right now knows how is the family doing. Okay, we built them a house. So how is the family doing? I'm being told it is doing badly because we made that event for the cameras and things like that, and then they are forgotten. But we are not accusing anybody. We are just saying, let us have a framework, let us have a legal framework in which our athletes who have made a name for this country are going to be recognized. And we really want to thank the president. He is #1 sportsman in this country. I can see what is happening to the boy child in the last Tokyo championships. Every winner for gold was a lady. Every winner for gold was a lady. I remember the 90s. The 90s, the boys were doing very well. But now, even attaining the 2 for the boy child in the Tokyo became unheard of. What has happened? It seems there is something that we are not investing in this country to make sure we can be able to train talent, we can be able to preserve our land, we can be able to make sure that we develop that talent until we make sure that, in fact, there used to be steeplechase. You remember the 3,000 steeplechase? We used to know, even when you sleep and wake up, Kenyans are going to win. But nowadays, all the meanderings are coming, and people from Ethiopia, from where, are winning finally. So we also need to protect the boy child when it comes to these athletes, because what I saw in the Tokyo is anything to go by, it is the girl child who gave us the name. Where are our boys? Where are our boys? And lastly, our athletes, they get a lot of revenue when they go and run professionally outside there. But we don't have a system that we can be able to train the young men and women so that they know when they get that money, how are they going to invest so that they can be able to eat on their investment. Because you can imagine, I used to tell somebody when I first got my job in the University of Nairobi, I used to tell somebody during the first 5 days of the month, I am hyper, you know, the boys after just finishing campus. I am hyper until that money has been reduced to manageable levels. You know what I mean by manageable levels? Because if I've given 100,000 and I've never seen 100,000, I will run around to reduce until when I see now it is 20,000, I start budgeting. Now I'm remaining with 20 days. I need to be spending 1,000 per day to make sure I can see off. The same thing happened to athletes. If they get like 20 million, somebody has never seen 20 million. He thinks he has owned the whole world. He start going hyper. You buy a very flashy vehicle, you buy a very what? The next day you have an injury, you can't run, you have a V8 there, you have a what there that you can't dispose, and all of a sudden you turn into a pooper again. You get? It is high time that as the Ministry of Sports, they need to get serious, they need to develop an academy where they can be able to train our athletes so that when they get this money, they know that they don't need to be hyper, they are just going to invest so that after 10 years, they will regroup their investment and they will be able to enjoy for life. That becomes very beautiful. With those few remarks, I support the motion and I think we should move it further so that it becomes a legal framework for assisting our athletes. Thank you.
The Honorable Dr. Phyllis Bato, and honorable members, because of time, you can compress your contributions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have been waiting here since morning, and I got surprised when my colleague DK got a chance, and CPA RUTO got a chance when they were sitting next to me. And he's talking about, and I want to dissociate myself with the sentiments of DK for saying that it is a problem when the girl child wins a gold medal at the expense of a boy child. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to congratulate Honorable CNN for bringing this very, very important motion about our sportsmen and our sportswomen, and it is very timely. And it is here in Parliament that we do budgeting and appropriation, and we should do we should support our sportsmen and sportswomen with the resources they deserve, because they indeed have made Kenya. They have put Kenya in the world map. Mr. Speaker, I would also wish to congratulate the Ministry of Education for looking at the reforms and putting more effort in bringing up the sports and bringing up sport in Kenya, because all learning makes, there was an assertion which used to say that learning the whole day makes Jack a dull boy. And it is important that we are now recognizing sports as a pathway in our education system. It will go a long way in shaping our young people. I want also to use this opportunity to thank the Honorable President, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, for also supporting our sportsmen, especially what we saw recently when we were hosting the AFCON, and he went all the way to support them and motivate them, and eventually we almost ran away with the first position. But that is an indication that whenever we support our sportsmen and women, they will shine. But unfortunately, it is not just, we should not just be reacting to situations, but we must have a scheme which sorts out everyone. Mr. Speaker, as I was sitting here, unfortunately, Honorable Tim has left. He normally represents Bunge and also CNN in our sports, and they win, they get medals. But when we get here to Bunge, what happens? Including, they'll make it here, and Janet Sitene. Whenever they succeed, they go out there, they are international, and they go and play, and they bring medals, but nobody recognizes them. So it's also high time that Bunge recognizes the sportsmen and women, those who bring honor to this house, outside the floor of the house, but in the field and internationally. I would also want to say that it is not just enough to recognize, to make this reward scheme for only those who have accomplished internationally. Mr. Speaker, sports should start at the local level. It should start at the grassroots, where these athletes are, where their talent is getting, where the talent is, where at the initial stage of the talent, so that these sports people are resourced and they are supported all the way from the grassroots up to the international, because you can't just start from the international, it must start somewhere, and that somewhere is always the grassroots. We should support this talent even in our schools, even in our colleges, so that we prepare them very well. We employ coaches who will train these sports people from the grassroots, from our schools, from the sports academies, so that we improve their quality and we improve their competitiveness, so that as a result of that, we even get more medals coming to Kenya. Because imagine if up to now we don't have such a scheme and we are still getting recognized. They are the people who are flying our flag internationally. The other day, when I was in a conference outside Africa, somebody asked me, is Kenya the capital city of Africa? So at least somebody knows that there is a Kenya, and there is a Kenya in Africa, and because of sports, they recognize us, because everybody during the international, when our athletes go international, they have always succeeded, and that has put us in the map of not just Africa, but Kenya, to an extent that somebody thinks that Kenya is the capital city of Africa. Madam Speaker, when this scheme must include financial management.
Did I hear you refer to me as madam?
Sorry. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, it's because Honorable Rachel Nyamai was there for some time and Gladys Boshole was there. And also, this issue of boy child really made me, I'm sorry for that.
You are pardoned.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
You know my position with those terminologies.
I know, and I apologize. It should not just be the awards. It should not just be the award scheme, but the award scheme should also include preparations and managing them after, all through their lives, when they are growing their talents, and even post, when they are retired. We should be giving them financial management. Mr. Speaker, was an issue in Elgeyo Marakwet, for instance, have been home to many champions and Nandi, by extension, to an extent that was an issue. I think another one is the source of champions, another one is the home of champions, another one is whatever. Mr. Speaker, you will find that in those regions, the stadiums alone, for instance, the Cameroon Stadium, which Honorable DK spoke about, it has been going through construction for the many years, I remember. Kipchoge Stadium, since Kipchoge was, those days of Kipchoge, it has been undergoing construction. It is not complete. So that shows that, I mean, we have little regard for our sportsmen and women. We only celebrate them at the comfort of our TV rooms when they succeed. And when they are done, we just forget. So we should manage our stadiums. We should also manage them, give them training on financial management, because we have those who succeeded, they retired, but they are now languishing in poverty at home because nobody trained them on how to manage the success. Relatives took advantage of some. Whenever they send money at home or whenever they arrive, we have brokers who are just hovering around them, wanting to run away with the success. And eventually, because of their little knowledge in finance management, they have given in, and so many of them are languishing in poverty. Some are in the streets. Some are living in abject poverty, Mr. Speaker. So it is also very important to make sure that they are given continuous financial training. They are given talks on mental challenges, because they undergo so many issues in society, especially after they are after they are tired. Mr. Speaker, we should also have a policy where they just don't decide on their own to migrate and go and represent other countries without the knowledge of the country. Because sometimes we see names and we think they are Kenyans, only to be told that they don't belong to Kenya. They have sold their citizenship. They do that because we don't recognize them. But if we sit with them and give them the necessary support, Mr. Speaker, I don't think they would be interested in migrating or changing their citizenship for the sake of making money for other countries. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I would wish that the Honorable CNN pushes this motion and makes it a bill within the life of this Parliament, so that we will start our sportsmen can start benefiting. And because of time, I can.
Honorable Dena Amisi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to support this motion. And I think to CNN, this is coming a bit late. I think you should go straight ahead to make it a bill. One, first, because of the social economic impact of what sports does to this country. When you look in the world, for example, Michael Jordan, all those people, they are running companies, they are running businesses, they are running their economies. And I think now, like what my colleague has said, when you go to Eldoret now, all the major buildings you can identify. So there's also the issue of the cultural identity in sports. People come and join together and support each other. And then there's that income that generates into the country. We have just seen recently in Tokyo and how much they've earned. And yet it's so frustrating when those people are received at the airport, they have come with an economy class ticket, and yet some of us here are always traveling on business. First, what is more important, I want to insist, is on the counseling. We've had people like Mohamed Abbas, who was the best goalkeeper in this country. We had like Kadenge. We saw most of us how he died. I think we need to keep emphasis on the counseling on our sportsmen, because they come, they earn big money, but the most important thing, they are not being told about investment, about they can get sick, about the lifespan of a sportsman is about 15 years. So I think the ministry should come with an aspect of counseling. So I raise to support CNN, but I think more important, he should come up and make this a bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Gideon Ochanda is recognized to make his contributions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do support the motion in principle. It is true, the benefits and the value we derive from our international sports persons is important, whether they are plenipotentiaries, whether their stature is important, and that it's also good that they are recognized from time to time. I'm not too sure whether this direction may be the best in terms of rewards, money. I wanted to vary a little bit in 2 or 3 different ways. One is what goes into this international sports person before Tokyo? What goes to this individual men and women before they get to the international levels? Who knows where they come from? Who identifies them? Who invests in them? Who enrolls them? Because these are critical things that as a country we need to be knowing exactly what happens. Because that's exactly where we are saying at one point that some of them are exploited because nobody knows where they are. We only celebrate them when they win. But before they win, we have no idea where they emerge from. We have no idea who trains them. We don't know the cost of training a person from the long road they follow through to the international level. Who knows? Who knows the cost of training one person? Who knows what goes with the development of this one person? So they are sometimes, many times, are identified by some individual business people, whether we call them coaches or trainers. They are identified by those same coaches. They are identified by these trainers. They are taken through training and coaching through these individual private people, so that by the end of the day, it is even these people that enrolls them. We only meet them when they are at the game. We only meet them when they are at the field. So what is it that we are doing as a nation? What is it that we are doing as a government for purposes of even costing alone, so that you get to know what goes into training, developing a person from whatever level they are up to the international level? I think this is very critical, because that is where you may need to have proper investment more than in the issue of rewards. So, Mr. Speaker, as we look at that, you see, in terms of development and this is exactly where I wanted to bring this to members, the issue of matching training, skills, and industry. I'm very sure that our direction in terms of the curricula is matching towards that end. But as we do that, what is it that we are doing in our education system? Let me surprise you that in terms of capitation, each learner gets 8 bob. From the last data that I had, each learner has 8 shillings for sports. So what can 8 bob do? 8 shillings. So the schools were very active between March and May, or between March and June, because of sporting activities. They're very busy. You have the primary school, we have the junior school, we have the secondary school, the normal secondary school that we know. All of them in the same environment. But if you look at it, checked the amount of investment that we are putting on sport, at that level is 8 bob. 8 bob by 200 learners in one school is 160,000. So 160,000 to manage sports, all the cadres of sports, not just football, everything else that are supposed to be done, including the management and all that. And then these learners play within inter-schools, then they get to zones, then they do inter-zones, they go the sub-county, they go county, then they go regional, then they come national. How does 8 bob help in all those levels? 8 shillings. Yeah? So what do we invest, even in terms of when we are talking about matching skills and industry, matching our training with industry? I think there's a lot that needs to be done in terms of costing exactly what exactly goes into an individual learner for purposes of sports. Immediately we have sport as a pathway. There must be investment in the pathway. And if we don't invest in the pathway, then we don't mean what we are saying, or we also don't mean what we are trying to do as a country. So, Mr. Speaker, this whole idea of checking the value in terms of how much are we supposed to be investing if we are to move forward as a country is very important. This aspect of maybe rewarding, you see, when we go to the international sports, USA, America sometimes has a lot of goals. When you look at the kind of the events that make them have those goals, and 100 and whatever gold, then we get back with our 8 or so goals, and we are number 2 or whatever. You look at the sporting events that they carry, the sporting events that they do. I don't think that the investment on javelin can be the same as the investment in training 800-meter athlete. So if you are to reward these people later on, how do you reward them 6 million shillings, for example, when they are back? So I think this is where CNN may need to look at again. They may need to look at it afresh. You may win javelin, somebody may win Ajua. You know, Ajua is a sport. Yes, so you win Ajua, and you get back here, you are looking for 6 million. Yet somebody who has been going through all this training, the investment and everything else, the energy, the effort, and the money. Yes, so I think that's where you may need to tweak this a little bit. So that somebody who comes back with a medal from Ajua or from javelin, where you only need a lot of ugali, it will be different from the other. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the chance, and CNN, I think you may need to do quite a bit on the motion.
Order, honorable members, let me make some communication before we proceed again. Honorable members, I wish to introduce to you a delegation comprising members from the Parliament of Malaysia who are seated in the Speaker's row. The delegation members are: 1, the Honorable Wong Chen, MP, is the leader of delegation. The Honorable Haji Aminul Hud bin Hassan, MP. The Honorable Yunesoran Ramaraj, MP. The Honorable Dato Wira, Dr. Ku Abd Rahman bin Ku Ismail, MP. And lastly, the Honorable Wan Ahmad Faisal bin Wan Ahmad Kamal, MP. Honorable members, the delegation is accompanied by 5 members of the Secretariat from the High Commission of Malaysia in Nairobi and 3 senior officers from the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. They are in the country on official duties and have also paid a courtesy call on the Speaker of the National Assembly, accompanied by the chairpersons of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations and Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Honorable members, on my behalf and that of the National Assembly, I welcome them to Parliament and wish them fruitful engagements during their stay in the country. I thank you. This is a communication by the substantive Speaker, the Right Honorable Dr. Moses FM Wetangula EGH MP and Speaker of the National Assembly. There is great interest on this motion. I'm informed that the time for debating it has lapsed under the standing orders. In fact, Honorable Chanda just ended it on the last second. And so it is now time for the mover to reply. No doubt, under standing order number 1, I will allow the mover to make donations if he wishes of his time. The mover, please now proceed and reply.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I speak, I would like to donate 8 minutes to the following members who have requested me formally. Karoli Omont was supposed to speak. I will donate 1 minute. Didi Nyoro, my brother, I will donate 1 minute. Jalango, 1 minute. Julius, 1 minute. Eric Karemba, 1 minute. Mary Mase, 1 minute. Linus Kaikai, 1 minute. And Lillian, 1 minute. Thank you very much.
Let us proceed as donated. I thought you were going to donate to some too, to make meaningful contributions. But give Honorable Karoli Omondi the mic.
Honorable Speaker, I was supposed to second this motion, but I was held up somewhere. So I'd prepared very extensively. I don't even know how to start. But Honorable Speaker, all great nations around the world have always been occupied with sports, whether they were Greeks or Romans. And if you look at the motto of the Olympics, Citus, which is faster, Altius, which is higher, Fortius, which is stronger, and Communita, which is together, they mean quite a lot, even for national development and cohesion. And this is the role of sports in our country. Sports have been very useful in breaking barriers amongst human beings. Hitler was not able at any point in time to hold the feet of James Cleveland Owens when he broke 5 world records and earned 5 gold medals in Berlin Olympics, proving that racism had no place. In our country, we have had some very able sports people. I remember Moses Kiptanui, who became the first man ever to win the 3,000 steeplechase under 8 minutes. And we had Eliud Kipchoge, the first man ever to run the full marathon under 2 hours. And most recently, the first Suba lady, Lilian Odira, to win 800 meters in Tokyo. But anyway, in terms of developing sports, I would like to propose, in addition to what CNN has introduced, that we focus more on development of sports. Before we talk about the reward system, let's talk about the development of sports. The cost of training our athletes so that they can achieve high performance. Who can...
Honorable Ndindi Nyoro.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable CNN, my brother. I just want to make a few remarks. One is the reason why we must always take our sportsmen very seriously is because whatever they do is not for themselves, but for the country. The kind of marketing they do for Kenya goes into other sectors, including tourism, and the multiplier effect is felt more than in the field. And therefore, rewarding them appropriately should be our priority. The other thing, Honorable Speaker, is the role actually that sports play in the culture. As we know today, our country, Kenya, yes, it's a republic, it's a nation, it's a country, but after all is said and done, we are made up of several nations within our own nation. And what culture does, Honorable Speaker, is to help a country move away from the static identities, like the ones we identify ourselves with, and cultivate a fluid identity. That's what culture does, including sports. So that
Honorable Ndindi Nyoro must complete the statement he was making. Give him 30 seconds.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I was just trying to say that, Honorable Speaker, what also culture does is to demolish the static identities. And what culture does is to give us way as a country to have more fluid identities that bring us together as a homogeneous people, so that constantly we continue running away from the static identities, especially of ethnicity, so that Kenya can continue to be one country, and culture and sports plays a very dominant role in that. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Felix Odiwuor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity, and also thank Honorable CNN for this motion. And we hope that it comes here and becomes a bill. I had so much to say, but these are donated minutes, so I'll be very quick. Number one, I'll just talk about the rewards. We would propose that even immediately you are announced as a gold champion, even flying back, you should be upgraded. You saw when Perez was a world champion, and were it not for the cabin crew that recognized as the the world champion, marathon world champion, should have stayed in the economy class. Not that flying economy is bad, but this is the world champion. Secondly, we keep on losing so many athletes to countries who reward their athletes better, like Yavi, who runs for Bahrain. If we could reward our champions in the best way possible, they will be not leaving this country. And also, beyond rewarding, the development of sports and the facilities would be a very big thing. We request the completion of the Camarine Stadium to be fast-tracked, because we were in Marakwet the other day. The stadium...
Honorable Julius Tuitum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. CNN, for this opportunity and for coming up with a very, very progressive motion. I want to implore to you to graduate this motion into a bill. Mr. Speaker, for the sporting activities to flourish to professional levels, we must tailor them. We must make sure that sporting is looked at the national level. I remember, Mr. Speaker, when we were in primary school, those who are taking part in activities, they were rewarded by getting even oranges or other things that could motivate the kids to do well in sporting activities. Mr. Speaker, the country is not looking at the sporting activities keenly. You remember that the money that was put into the NCDF kitty was removed.
Honorable Eric Muchangi. It's regrettable. I thought you'd have 10 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a very progressive motion, by the Honorable CNN. Honorable Speaker, we were able to see how the sportsmen and women from this country exposed Kenya to the world in the just recent Japan Tokyo competitions. And only recently, how the footballers from this country entertained Kenyans and united the country around the sport. So this is a gold mine that we need to exploit by investing enough. And just like Taitumu has said, it was grievous of this House to pass an amendment, the NGCDF amendment, that did away with the sports fund. We need to revisit that matter and ensure that we have funds that can take care of sports right from the grassroots. Because we have heard stories of how football or
Honorable Mary Emase.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Kenyan sportsmen and women have made Kenya proud and have put Kenya in the map of the world. And therefore, as proposed by this motion, they must be recognized and appreciated. Honorable Speaker, it is obvious that Kenya has talent. And I want to commend the President even for the development of sports academies that are being constructed across the country. More than 30 are ongoing. And I want to say that those sports academies must be concluded, resourced and equipped so that we can develop more talent and continue to fly the flag of Kenya high across the country. So I support this proposed motion to reward sportsmen and women, and we must have it, make it more structured so that the identification, all the processes to recognition are clear, and that the sportsmen and women are nurtured to ensure that Kenya wins more gold.
Honorable Kaikai Bissau.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, and for Honorable CNN. Sports is a job opportunity. Sports is a livelihood. Sports unites us. I am here through sports. That is how I paid my school fees. And also, as a patron of a football team, the life of a sports person is very complicated. While we thank CNN for the post-retirement motion on about sports persons, but today, if you look even the allowances that our teams are drawing, an example, in a day, a Harambee Stars player earns 1,000. That is very low. So even during the active sporting, we expect that we look into this. And again, we want to thank the President. Like in Trans Nzoia, soon we will also be beneficiaries of the sports complex, like Homa Bay, Siaya, etc. So in a nutshell, we also need to ensure that we've got good facilities across the country, and during the active life of any sports person, we have to ensure that it's treated as an employment with all the coverages being there. And I think that will help, because if you look at the current situation, whereby you're talking of giving
The Honorable Lillian Sioi, MP.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also stand to support and congratulate Honorable CNN for coming up with a very such a nice motion. I agree that we really need to reward our sportsmen and women. But the biggest problem we have, Mr. Speaker, is that this reward we are talking about, we lose it in the hands of the private academy and the agents. Majority of our sports men and women don't have government nurturers who can help them nurture their talents, and therefore they fall in the hands of these people, and most of these rewards ends up in their hands. And that is why you find them with a lot of the rewards that they have been given, they are languishing in poverty, they have got nothing because it was taken by the agents, majority of whatever reward that they were given. So I stand to support that we should have enough facilities that are going to help our sports persons we nurture them well, we reward them well directly, and we support them in whatever thing they are doing because
Mover.
To reply.
You barely have 1 minute to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I intentionally brought this as a motion just as a way of public participation. You can see the interest is the motion to become a bill. And I can promise Kenyans that I am preparing the bill. I have done enough public participations, and the majority of the members who have not spoken, they will speak during the bill when I'll be moving it very soon if it is approved by the Speaker. With those few remarks, thank you so much, members, for the overwhelming support on this motion. And I promise the Kenyan athletes and all the sportsmen, we are going to work together so that we can actually get the benefits of sports in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, honorable members have confirmed we have quorum to transact business. I therefore put the following question. That are where order. I know Honorable Ndindi is a ranking member. Honorable Ndindi Nyoro is a ranking member. Yeah. That are where that sports play an integral role in promoting cultural heritage, national identity, national development, the well-being of the people, and sustenance of livelihoods, particularly of the youth, appreciating that sessional paper number 3 of 2005 provides a framework for sports development and operationalization in the country, further appreciating that the sector plan for sports, culture and arts 2018 by the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Arts mainstreamed sport development in the third medium-term plan, MTP3, for 2018-2022 under Kenya's Vision 2030, recognizing that the Vision 2030 aims at capitalizing on the country's international reputation as a world-class sports powerhouse whose sportsmen and women have won international accolades and recognition, especially for their prowess in athletics. Concerned that despite bringing honor and national pride to the country, most sportsmen and women face a myriad of challenges, such as lack of psychosocial support and social protection, hence pushing many to alarming levels of mental health challenges during their careers and even after retirement, noting that sessional paper number 3 of 2005 contemplated motivation of sports persons by the state through cash and material prizes, conferring state honors, appointments as goodwill ambassadors, and establishing contributory insurance and saving schemes, among other forms of motivation, cognizant of the fact that the prospect of receiving state recognition, financial grants, and other perks inspire sportsmen to push their limits in attaining their full potential, as well as fostering a collective sense of pride in sporting achievements. Now, therefore, this House urges that the government, through the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts, develops a policy and standardized sports reward scheme for recognizing the achievements made by sports persons in internationally recognized competitions through 1. Financial rewards of Kenya shillings 6 million for setting new world records, Kenya shillings 4 million for gold medalists, Kenya shillings 3 million for silver medalists, and Kenya shillings 2 million for bronze medalists. 2. Non-financial motivation, including facilitation with issuance of diplomatic passports for established sportsmen and women, appointment as goodwill ambassadors, and conferring national honors and privileges, And 3, establishing medical cover and a post-retirement social protection scheme, including establishing contributory insurance and saving schemes to support sports persons who retire from active sporting due to injuries of age. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Let us be upstanding, honorable members. Honorable members, the time being 1 p.m. stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, the first day of October 2025 at 2:30 p.m.
A warm welcome to you as you join us for these proceedings. This being a Wednesday morning, as is that tradition, it is a sitting that is set aside for the cabinet secretaries to appear before the Senate chambers. This is as provided for in the House Standing Order number 51C, where the cabinet secretaries appear before the Senate chambers to respond to various concerns, matters either of county, inter-county, national, regional, or even international concerns, appear before the Senate. Normally, the questions are forwarded to the ministries prior to their appearance inside the chambers. And when they come now, they give a comprehensive response to the concerns that the members of the Senate may have forwarded to the ministry, and also supplementary questions from the members inside the chambers at the time when the cabinet secretary is presenting or making their submissions regarding the concerns that have been forwarded by the senators. And this Wednesday morning, 2 cabinet secretaries who have confirmed to appear before the Senate include the cabinet secretary for tourism and wildlife, Rebecca Miano, as well as the cabinet secretary for education, Julius Ogamba. They have confirmed that they will be appearing before the Senate this morning, as you can see right at the front of the chamber. That is the stand or the podium that the cabinet secretaries, once they are ushered into the chamber, they will be taking their position to be able to respond to the questions that the members may have forwarded to them. What you're seeing on your screens currently, that is inside of the Senate chambers. The time allocated for the sitting is 9:30, so in a short while we should be expecting the procession of the Speaker to make its way into the chamber, and also members to also make their way inside, of course, for the House to be able to correct and also enable it to commence its business. And that is the Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Jeff.